cloud chase around here. All right, so this is the LCS. So this tier is going to be this is the black guy term, just aight. Just all right. There you go. B tier is going to be, let's just put Dark Horse. I don't know. And then A tier is going to be
I would put
C9 Supremacy.
I would put Dark Horse as third. I think second should be.
Well, Dark Horse is I'm implying that this team could potentially surprise and actually challenge Cloud9 to win.
Okay.
So where do you want to start at? Actually, we'll save the best for last because the best for last is always going to be like Team Liquid, Cloud9, these guys. We'll save those for last. And NRG. So we'll start with Immortals, actually. Chaz's favorite team.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Nope.
Immortals' roster is Castle, Mayonnaise, Mask, Tactical, Ole. Looks like hot dude.
And when he means by mayonnaise, he means our mouth. He calls it mayonnaise.
I mean Miracle Whip.
Yeah, because if you leave that motherfucker in the sun, he gonna stink.
I'm talking like McDonald's mayonnaise on McChickens.
Oh,
that's what he is.
Now, if the chicken is fresh, the mayonnaise it'd be hidden. But if that chicken sat there for a minute or two, no, that mayonnaise with that wilted lettuce,
Ooh, God,
that's a nasty McChicken.
I'm just being honest here. Why the fuck did they keep Tactical? You know, in Immortal Mortals' video that they talked about, we're gonna unlock more of Tactical's unlocked potential. At that point, when I hear shit like that, I gotta just throw you in booty ass juice tier. Oh my God. There's no unlocking Tactical's prowess, guys. He hasn't been good ever since like 2021, and that's when he was playing with Core JJ, who at that point kind of still was good, you know. Ole, the last time he was in the LCS with Golden Guardians, you remember last year when you started watching, you saw him with Golden Guardians. He was bad.
Yeah.
Ole hasn't been good at a very long time. Like, what kind of jank roster is this? I hope the Korean imports are good. If the Korean imports are good, they could potentially sell these players off, or they could, make a roster move come before the summer split. But I have no faith in this roster. They're going to be like 7th, 8th. They're about to be like fucking 12th in an 8th team fucking league.
Shit.
Nah, man. I think this roster just looks like hot doo-doo shit. All right. Well, where would you have Immortals, actually?
Immortals between 7 and 8. At highest 6. There's
a good chance the Korean players carry them.
There's 2 teams I can think that could bottom out harder than Immortals.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going to be booty ass team. Right now, looking at their team now, this team's like NRG needs to be clapping this team. NRG should not be losing not a damn tower to IMT. IMT is bad. Like,
if NRG have that thing where they lose to like all the bad teams but beat all the good teams, I'm about to have a stroke watching this again. Holy shit!
I'm still not gonna take them seriously.
All right, let's go to Dignitas. So Dignitas's roster is going to be Bitch, Zayu,
Rich.
Dove, Tomo, and Isles. All right,
Tomo.
Tomo.
Now he said the other word. Oh,
God. All right, so Dove was the mid laner on IG. He actually was good. He actually was pretty talented. He also role swapped. He originally was a top lane. He role swapped to mid. We saw Zayu before. Zayu was bad. Rich had a brief stint where he looked like an MVP earlier this summer split, but that was like in the first 2 weeks, and he fell off a cliff. Probably because he lost faith in the team, actually. Yeah. Tomo replaced Spawn, who looked like the worst ADC I think I've ever seen play competitive league. Tomo didn't look good himself. He just wasn't Spawn, but he also was bad too. All these LCS rosters, I'm being honest here, these two are just like budget as fuck rosters. Do you want to set league minimum? Yes. You can come in. Did you go 15 and 13 in a split? Sorry, did you go 5 and 13 in one split? Yeah, you're in. So if you went and you accept league minimum and you went like 6 and like fucking, I don't know, 6 and 12 in a split, you could be on IMT or Dig. Isles is just not good. Isles had his brief stints. On many teams, he's not good at all. These are just dog shit fucking rosters, if we're being honest here. I feel like some of these guys might be able to punch up, given the fact that there's 2 less teams, obviously, in the league for the most part. But I think if we're being honest here, these are just like some of the worst rosters I think I've ever seen. These are just badly constructed rosters, and they're cheap, so that's even worse. I'll probably have IMT further than Dig because at least Dig, might actually surprise because they have some random wins they always get. But yep, that's where I'm gonna have these guys. All right, let's talk about Shopify Rebellion. Shopify Rebellion, who bought TSM slot, is Fake God, Boogie, Insanity. So you have the TSM former jungle and mid duo. B-Boy, who's been on many teams. He was on teams in I think it was what's the fucking minor region? He was on teams in the minor region, I think in Brazil or Mexico or some shit. And
I think it was Brazil. I want to say it's Brazil.
It was in Brazil. Yeah, he was on I think like Pain Gaming or some shit. He was on one of those, or was on Red Candids or something.
It was one of those.
Yeah, he was on Young Miracles. He's been on quite a bit of teams actually, but he's never been like. He's one of those random players where it's like, oh, I know who this guy is because he's just been around for a while. Yeah, he was on Pain Gaming. He was on Estral Esports. He's mostly been competing in he was on Europe for a little brief stint there. He's been around, obviously. It's just he might shine. He might be able to shine, but what do you think about Shopify Rebellion, dude? I think Fake God is complete shit.
I think there will be all right. I think they're going to be in the middle. I think they're going to be.
Yeah, I agree.
5, 6, maybe 4 if one of these teams slips up. Maybe 4 at the high. They can't be 80 higher than they will
Fake
be.
God was quite literally the worst. Fake God was quite literally the worst top laner in the fucking league at one point. He got knocked all the way down. He was on Disguised Toast's challenger team. He made it back to the LCS. I don't know. Could he have that Dokla effect where he got knocked down and he's going to come back even stronger? Could be. I don't believe it. Could happen. But is Fake God really going to... So since it's basically TSM, is Fake God going to be a upgrade over Hanser? No. Boogie only really looks good on Elise. He looks pretty jank on everything else, if I'm being honest here. Insanity looked good. I'm glad he gets a starting spot. I think he was fine. He'll be like one of those, like, he might arguably be like one of the top 4 mids, potentially, given how things have shrunk in the LCS.
Yeah.
And now you just have Zazel. And they're keeping the same head coach they had for Revan. So I don't know. This is probably gonna be what TSM was, honestly. They'll just be all right. And TSM wasn't really all right. TSM are pretty much borderline bad. But this is an 18 league, guys. We gotta really, really, really like stretch what we mean here with some of these teams. All right. Let's do 100 Thieves, actually. Where's 100 Thieves going to be for you, man?
They're between Booty Juice and Just All Right. The biggest issue is the person they're keeping is the last person they brought over. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. This is going to be
For those of you who don't know, 100 Thieves' roster is General Sniper, River on Golden Guardians, Quid, Meech, who was on Disguised Ghosts' Academy team, or his team, and Ayla, and their coach is Golden Glue.
Yep.
This might actually even be worse than IMT and Dig, because you don't really like. There's a very good chance they're better, but I think they're right where they are. They're going to be competing for like 6th, 7th, or 8th because they're relying on River and Ayla.
Dig.
Yeah,
because Ayla has spurts where he could be a top 4 support in the LCS. He has the skills. His issue is
he needs like the correct team chemistry and synergy to do it. My biggest issue is Quid. Quid literally just sits in mid lane and just does nothing. They need to activate this guy.
But that's also playing around a bunch of people who are over talking each other. Like, if you saw how those comms were last year, they're either not talking or they're overly talking. You can't just put someone new into that, even though Bucio is that due to LCS, he due to America.
Mm-hmm.
It was like now you got a bunch of players who are not as achieved. It's like, all right, this works.
Yeah. And we have River, and I guess they're counting on River being that piece that's going to basically get the team going, which can happen. I mean, River has shown he can be the best jungler in the league. The issue here now with, like, how's he going to do this with basically new players? Like, obviously, Sniper, he's going to have somewhat maybe gank for this guy quite a bit. Because I've not really seen him play top lane all that much, honestly. So he's going to be an unknown quantity. Yeah. And did you watch when Disguised Toast team played? Did you see Meech when he played? I saw him play. I thought he was
decent. He was decent.
Yeah, I don't know where to put the team at. I feel like if they had a strive, they might actually.
I would say they're
like
just already. They don't need to make playoffs, but if they make playoffs, that's good. They're further ahead than needed. But if they, like they're to be from, they can be go as high as fifth, but they can be as low as eighth.
That's true. Yeah, because like given how they're putting these players together, I could easily see these players not gelling and meshing well at all. I could easily see it. But then again, that's why we have spring splits, because that's where we kind of get the gelling part out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the LCS.
I will go FlyQuest. I'll go FlyQuest next.
All right. FlyQuest, the team that quite literally could have did a lot more this year. It's going to be that year of kind of like what could have been for FlyQuest. They were literally one game away from facing off against Cloud9 in the finals of spring. And even if they had lost the finals, which they probably were going to lose the finals, they at least went to MSI. After losing that game 5 to Golden Guardians, this team just fell off a cliff. They were literally falling off a cliff before that, but that was kind of like the final straw right there, where you could tell the players just literally didn't want to be around each other anymore. It was just broken.
That too, plus the managerial decisions of FlyQuest is just the worst.
So bad. Yeah. Remember they brought in a dude just to sub him out the next game, even though they said they kind of wanted to see what he was capable of. It's just like this whole it was just bad. It's just bad. Start over. Go next year.
That plus then you have the whole thing with I think what they really just messed up. They saw so it was good, but it was money. I told you, a team will fuck up over money because they need to value their acquisition and purchase. And I see baseball teams do this. Put in a batter that's much worse than the rookie kid or the cheaper kid, and then the cheaper kid outperforming them, but they gotta bet the cheap rookie kid because he's not worth $100 million. And that's what they did with Ayla, and Ayla just did not work. Plus, the team was already kind of shaky because it's like they lost to TSM, and TSM was like, "Oh, we exposed them," but not really.
I mean, to be fair, I told people their gameplay was not as good as people were making out to be.
It was extremely linear. It was just no other team was able to beat them because they were just.
Yeah, Vikla actually kind of was doing well, and then Vikla. But falling off the cliff is an understatement. He actually didn't even exist anymore. He became a Tristana Azir 2 trick. It's literally all he could play. Remember that? Impact and I told people Impact and Speaker were not going to synergize very well. That is, you can't put their play styles together. That didn't work out. Then they're like, you know what? We'll take Vulcan, and maybe Vulcan will kind of reinvigorate the team. Vulcan himself had a bad split on EG. That's not going to work out. Prince doesn't want to be on the team anymore. And then even when they kind of got it together, it didn't matter because they already lost so many games they couldn't even make playoffs.
Yep.
Oh God, the 2023 FlyQuest was just clown world.
If you want to take that's the pure definition of management did not know how to manage. It was literally they had the number one thing they could have done. And they threw her right down the drain, just right down the drain.
And then the way they just treated, I don't know, the way they treated Winston just left such a bad taste in my mouth, man. That is so fucked. You ask him to come back after you get blown out by Cloud9 just to bring him back, just for him to almost get you to MSI just to go into summer replacing him again? Like, what the fuck?
And then you replace him.
Damn.
You replaced him with the guy that he was cool with. It was like, oh, okay. All right.
Nepotism, guys. Nepotism is such a bitch in life. But FlyQuest's new roster going into 2024, LCS Spring Split, is going to be Bwipo, Inspired, Jensen, Masu, and Busio. What an interesting roster. I have them, for me personally, as a dark horse, though there's going to be a lot of asterisks to this. I think Inspired is really, really good. But the problem with Inspired, as we know, is he can be very hard to get along with. That could definitely hurt how good your team might eventually end up being. You know, there's some strong personalities on this team, guys, where literally, if it goes bad for them, they could honestly fall back to where they were this year. If it goes bad for them, I swear, with these personalities, it will go bad. But if it also goes well and they start winning a lot, this could be a very, very dangerous team. Jensen is not coming off the best well on Dignitas, but let's be honest, it was kind of the only reason why they were even winning games. So, you know, I can't, something I can't fault him. It's just more along the lines of people knew that if they shut down Jensen, they could just beat Dig. So now that he's going to have better pieces around him, how's that going to affect his gameplay? But even when he was on Cloud9 for that last one that he was on Cloud9, he didn't look that good either. So he's been kind of in the same boat as I would say Bjergsen was. It's looking like after the split, and given how bad he might play, I'll just tell him to wrap it up too. Because he's had 2 splits in a row now where it's like, man, I don't. This I think is his last chance. I would say is a spring split. If he does not play well in the spring split, I could easily see a world where they cut ties with him, and he might just not get a team anymore. I hope he has and I love Jensen to death. I hope he has an impressive split. Busio, one of these asked Busio to stay. He didn't want to stay. He went to FlyQuest. Busio did not have any good synergy with Double Lift. Hopefully, he'll have better synergy with Masu.
He didn't have any synergy well with the teammates. None of them had synergy well. That was the sad part about it was their 2022 team, even though they were falling apart at the team, they had synergy with each other. What they needed to do was swap out the bot lane. Swap that out. You're good. That's all they had to do. Swap that out. You're gonna put Busio, then you're gonna put.
Because remember how you said a big reason why Busio didn't work on the team was because of his overthinking, because he's an analytical player. Well, Bwipo is very, very similar to that.
Yep. I got FlyQuest is just all right. The reason I can't see him as a dark horse because to me, a dark horse, if it was me, I would swap Shopify and FlyQuest. I think Shopify could be a dark horse. FlyQuest, to me, you can see them coming because of who their players are. I think I will keep FlyQuest a dark horse, for overall, but something about it. Something about to say
that's why I had asterisks, because if it all comes together, I can see them being very good. Yeah. But that's the thing is the last split Inspired played he was good, but for the latter 3 weeks, it was just looking rough for him. But then again, the whole team's a lot of the team dynamic was falling. It was basically just him and Jojo Pion, just carrying the team at a single point. So I want this team to do good. I want them to succeed as the players, but you can never really trust FlyQuest, man. Like, I'll have my dark horse right now, but I could easily see this basically being really, really good, starting out strong, and then basically just ending really bad if they get into a rut where they can't improve.
Yeah.
Let's go to Team Liquid. Team Liquid's roster is Impact, who was obviously previously on Team Liquid before a long time ago. They have who's been in Korea forever. And you have Ass Pussy Ass, Yon, and Core JJ.
Ass Pussy Ass, okay. Do I know who Ass Pussy Ass is?
I would say Lennon. I'm sorry, APA.
Hey, yo, okay.
Yeah, yo.
I like that.
I would just have him as just all right.
Oh, I just realized who you meant as pussy. I did the acronyms, dude. I'm so tired. I'm so not zoned out, but that joke went over, man. But I got it.
You're fine.
I would put T Liquid just all right.
I'm being honest here, man. What the fuck did they keep Yon and Core JJ? I know why. Because Core JJ has a massive say in the team. Let's be honest here, dude. At this point, he's the one pulling for these roster moves because they probably love Core JJ.
Oh, big facts.
They gotta tell us guys, just don't Core JJ, just exist. We'll do the rosters.
Yep.
Because guys, Core JJ, he's been running it down for a while. I don't know how he's actually at this point just stealing checks. At this point, he is stealing checks. Yon is just straight up bad. He can't play anything.
Yeah.
But if you're forgetting, this is just I know what LCS is going to look a lot different, but I'm saying just from the roster moves. APA himself is not really that good either. He has just always been perennially just bad to all right. And then you just have Impact, who I think is a very good top laner, but he's one of those stable piece top laners that can be very good in the right situation. I think this roster, I could see a world maybe potentially where they can make a miracle run to the finals, but I don't see Team Liquid winning any titles with this roster this year. I just don't see it, honestly.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no way, no.
The moment they told me they're not winning a title this year is when the moment they announced that Yon is still going to be on their roster. Like, fuck that. I like how they saw this guy's performance at Worlds and went, hey, my ADC can't even play Aphelios properly. Yeah, dude, you're in. What? Fuck. Man could barely lane properly. They're like, oh, he just couldn't handle it against the best players in the world. Well, if Teal go back to Worlds in 2024, it ain't going to be any different. He's just not a good player at all. So I honestly don't know, guys. I think they'll just be all right for the most part.
Yeah, no, they'll be all right. Yeah, I think they're fighting with FlyQuest and either Shopify
potentially be a dark horse. They could.
No, they're not a dark horse.
That's what I'm seeing. Like the stars aligning. Like they would have to literally align in front of my eyes for it to happen that way. But I just don't see it.
I think they're gonna be seed coming. Like I think FlyQuest will be the dark horse. I think Shopify Rebellion is a dark horse, but that time will tell with that one.
All right, let's go to our LCS 2023 Summer Split Champion. I was gonna say the N word. And I can't say the R word. Can't say the G word. Okay, so those words can't be said on podcasting platforms. NRG. I'll probably have them as a dark horse to win, but they might make a repeat of the finals. Honestly, they're keeping most of the same roster.
NRG, the Ninjas running game.
God, oh Lord. And they just upgraded their support with Huhi. So basically, guys, it's the same roster. They just swapped out Ignar for Huhi. That's it. So you have the reunion of the FBI Huhi bot lane around. Yeah. They can get along more in the bot lane, but we know they do not see the game the same way, right? So that's my biggest concern with the team. Palafox, Contracts, and Dokla all have proven that they can win a title. They can be competitive in the LCS. FBI showed that he can definitely win titles on different teams. The problem here with adding Huhi to the team is it could easily be a honeymoon phase with him, but when it starts to get bad, I'm just thinking in my head how bad it's going to be in their bot lane where FBI wants to do something, Huhi wants to do something else, and they're having arguments and comms. That's my only thought about the team. But other than that, they should still be one of the more better teams in the LCS. If I'm being honest here, it's probably going to be a rematch of Cloud9 versus NRG in the finals. If I'm being honest here.
If there's anything less than that whoever did make it is
burn this foot to the ground. If FlyQuest and NRG go to MSI, I actually just straight up burn the LCS to the ground because we are going to lose every game, actually. So I think, Palafox and Contracts and Dokla showed that they should have LCS bots, given their good Worlds performance. Honestly, FBI, I think, struggled at Worlds quite a bit, but that's pretty much it, honestly. They've literally kept the same people, so they could also fall in, but I liked how they made the one upgrade, so they're not running back the full roster, they're going to try and upgrade where they can and see if they can hit a higher ceiling with Huhi, which I think is good. And basically, as you guys know, an A tier is Cloud9 because they obviously have the best team on paper.
On paper.
They have the best mid laner. They have the best ADC.
They are better than last year. I do believe they upgraded last year.
It's true. Cloud9's roster is Fudge, who literally is stealing checks at this point, given how he was not that good in 2023. Was he? He was arguably still top 4. Guys, the LCS was absolute shit this year. That's not really an
arguably top 4 in the league. With
arguably top 4 in the weakest league.
There's only 4 good top laners. Like,
arguably the 4th best in the weakest region. What the fuck does that even mean to you people? Actually, use your brain sometimes. Blabber, who's easily shown he can be the best jungler of the LCS. Jojo best mid laner. Berserker, best ADC. Vulcan is the question mark. He did not have a good year in 2023, so that's the only true question mark. We're going to go Vulcan. Yeah, he had just the recent year we saw out of him was not good.
I will take this recent year too. The teams he were all were bad. I'm sorry, I can't take that and be like, this is actually Vulcan.
If Vulcan can come back to his form, then they'll obviously be even more dominant. If he can just have if he can have the performances and if he can have the what's the best words I can use for this right now? I'm losing my brain. If he can be as good as he once was on Cloud9, oh god, they're probably going like 15-3 on the split, for being honest here, or at worst 14-4. If they were really fucking around and they're storing games, probably 13-5.
I don't see any team outside of NRG being Cloud9, and NRG is 50-50.
Right. So I think adding in Huhi potentially stabilizes their team, giving them a little bit more consistency. Because that's the thing with NRG, was that they were like inconsistently consistent, which, you really don't want to have that as a team, obviously. But as you guys know, Jojo Pion was on EG MVP, definitely carried literal corpses to 3rd place. So that is just impressive in and of itself. I will still question why they kept Fudge. I know he's won titles for them, guys. I know. But the problem here with this is so James said, do you take a chance on a rookie or do you grab a veteran top laner or you keep him? Honestly, if you've seen the peaks out of him already and you've seen how good he can be, you just go and get somebody else. What are you really seeing new from him?
Who else do you take? Who else from the LCS? And the reason why
I wouldn't pick him from the LCS at all. I personally wouldn't pick from the LCS. Remember, they wanted to get Wonder. He was under consideration for them.
And he was never come over.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, that was he probably saw the offer. Wonder honestly would have been a good pickup. I think that's honestly the piece they need for the team.
Wonder was never wondering about coming over here. He knew coming over to LCS. Hey, he told his perks. How's the LCS? Don't do it.
They could have chose Evie. that happened. So
how about Summit? They could have got Summit.
I mean, re-get Summit. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yes, I thought the thing. Yeah, he was.
He was on Cloud9. Speed ran to an MVP, and then speed ran to getting knocked out.
And Winsome at one point. Oh my god, that could have been the team. Yo, they could have an all Asian team. Somewhat. Summit, Blabber, JoJo, Berserker, and Winsome. Oh, that team's on 17-1. That's a disgust. I feel like that team. That's the team.
They just got them at the wrong times. Like Winsome wasn't the player that he was. Summit, very big ego issues where he got MVP and just kind of got so shit on in the playoffs. He just went to go play in the LPL. God, shit was bad. But yeah, for the most part, as we know with Cloud9 this year, what really screwed them over was, I know me and you always go back and forth with James with this, Sven wasn't that good of a support guy. He only was good because the supports in the LCS are bad. He himself wasn't a good support at all. I love Sven, guys. I do. That's my boy right there. But we got to call it like we see it, though. We got to be honest with ourselves here. We got to be honest here. He was not that good. There's a reason why they didn't keep him. They wanted to get rid of him this year. We know that. Berserker just liked to play with Sven. It's the only reason why he was there.
That's when they waited for his contract to end.
Yeah, they were literally going to get rid of him this going into this year. Jack said it, but
they kept that
they wanted to play with him.
They kept the contract going for until it was over.
Cloud9 got really destroyed. Cloud9, who used to be the best international team for NA, they've not did well at international events. I mean, Worlds 2022, they were just getting ass juice.
I mean, everybody in the West was getting fucked in 2022.
So and like owners are looking at and going, I want a new team. It's understandable when your team's getting blown out, you want a new team. They weren't going to keep Jensen and Sven after how badly they were playing. There's no way.
Jensen's issue was he was worth too much money. That was his issue.
Yeah, his gameplay did not warrant the contract he was trying to,
he was demanding.
Yeah. Sven, we said he was a role swap. He was a role swap support or fill-in support. I told people if he goes up against any good support, he's gonna get destroyed. I mean, like he was just getting absolutely destroyed at Worlds. And I'm glad Cloud9 stopped taking mid laners from fucking 7-Elevens. Actually,
like I thought you were about to say the other one was 11. I
almost caught myself there. Woo! So yeah, we don't have fat ding dong top ramen cup of noodle eating fat ass of menace around anymore. Fuck that guy. That fucking dog shit ass mid laner. And this thing, Jack has to stop giving the players so much credits and like so much leeway sometimes. One reason why I'm Menace on the team, Blabber was the one where Blabber vetted a Menace through the agent. Remember the story? Blabber vetted a Menace through the agent, and that's the reason why they went with the Menace to try him out for the academy team first to see if he was going to be good on the main roster. So you can't trust the players sometimes when it comes to these things, but I get it. You got to give them that leeway, and it's Blabber, so it's like, yeah. If it's anybody you're going to listen to about putting someone on a team, it would be him. So, Chaz is now back after he threw himself out.
Nah, yeah, my computer was on that BS again.
Oh, also, we saw that Cloud9 Pockets episode they had, and my thing with it is I hate when people talk in broad generalities like this, but I get it because this is how like things are now. You have to talk in broad generalities other than going into like the specifics now. Where they said, Fudge, he may have had a bad year, but he brought in a lot of intangibles outside of the game. And then proceeded to mention nothing about what he brought outside of the game. Nothing. I hate when people do that sometimes. Not just them. A lot of people do that. They'll be like, well, this guy had an underperforming split. Why did you keep him? Well, he's really good outside of the game. Why? They don't ever say why.
And the thing is, too, it's like, we're not like, it's like, oh, we demand answer. You're not. What's the word?
I guess you're not entitled to an answer or something like that.
You're not entitled to an answer. They can say whatever the fuck they want. It's like, okay. Mm-hmm. It's like the only people you got to answer to is the investors. The issue is, it's like, okay, but because basically, he's this key piece of our sales. Like, okay. But why is he still here? Like,
yeah, the thing is, like, he could be a key piece of your team outside of the game, but it sounds like they're just at this point keeping it because of some sort of like morale or some shit. Because he's not performed good at international events, guys. I'm sorry, winning titles at this point for Cloud9 is like, okay, we're gonna win one of the two titles a year at this point. That's almost just a guarantee at this point. Not saying it's always gonna happen, but it's likely they're gonna win one of the titles and go represent NA at international events. He's not played good at Worlds, and if you say he did, you have his cock literally in your mouth, and you're blind at this point. It's down to your esophagus, and your eyes have rolled back. He did not play good at this Worlds or MSI. He didn't play good at last World. The only year he was ever good internationally was his first year in 2021. He's been bad, guys. Let's be honest here. He's not been a good top laner internationally. But he's been one of the best LCS top laners. That means nothing.
I mean, it does. In a sense, you said it yourself that the LCS ain't gonna win anything.
Yeah. I would always say if you're separating two, if you're meaning just for LCS dominance, that's a different conversation, like being the best on the top laner domestically. But that's not what they care about anymore. They're gonna win a title. That's still meaningful. You don't want to just straight up lose finals. Yeah. Because that's just people go like teams would rather lose finals. No. Have you seen videos of teams lose finals? That is devastating to people.
Yeah.
I hate when people talk like that because you can see in the videos how much it breaks people losing big finals matches in front of people. You don't just go up to a final and just go, oh, we're probably at Worlds. Let's just go and grief the finals. It's like, no, you don't do that, you know? But obviously another conversation for another day. But
unless you're T1.
Unless you're T1 and you just beat the shit out of everybody at this point, you know?
Yeah. Man, you let MIL beat Genji and then you win Worlds. Ain't that a bitch?
T1 is like, you know what? We can't beat Genji. We'll let you guys beat Genji.
You know that's the fucked up part, but that if Genji would have got to the final, I'm not saying Genji
I think T1 still win. That's my opinion. I think T1 still win. But that's what I would say. Because the reason why I would say T1 win is because Genji had such a bad meta read against BLG. They actually thought Akali was a legitimate. Oh, look, Akali is a legitimate pick into Orianna. The problem here is the way Chovy was playing, that looked like that shit was just picked out of fucking Bronze 5 solo team.
Yeah.
But that is our LCS 2024 Spring Split team tier list.